Picture this. It's a hot afternoon in July, and you're standing at the window watching the garden, and you find yourself wishing the birds would come. You planted the flowers for them. Maybe you hung a feeder. And still the yard feels a little empty and a little quiet, and the hummingbirds you love to watch are off in somebody else's garden instead of yours. So you go to the garden store, and there in the aisle is a bird bath, a big concrete thing, $40, $50, heavy as a gravestone. You lug it home and set it down where it's going to stay forever, because you'll never move it again. You fill it with water, and within 2 days that still water's gone green and buggy, and the birds still won't come, and now you're stuck with a $50 green puddle you can't even lift. I want you to stop and think about this for a second, because here's the thing nobody tells you. The birds don't want a puddle. They want moving water. A hummingbird can hear running water, and it draws them from clear across the neighborhood. The trickle, the splash, the shine of it moving in the sun. A still, flat dish of water says nothing to them, but a little fountain, moving and sparkling, they'll fight over it. And here's the wonder of it. You can build one that runs forever, on nothing but sunlight, with no cord and no plug and no electric bill, out of a dollar store trash can and a soda bottle and a plate. In minutes, for a few dollars. That's the whole spirit of the old way, isn't it? You don't buy the fancy, heavy thing you can't move and can't afford. You look at what's already about the place and a bit of sun, and you make the thing yourself, better and cheaper, and you give the birds exactly what they're actually asking for. Let me tell you who I am. My name is Jacob Miller. I'm an Amish farmer out in the Holmes County settlement here in Ohio, and my wife is Rebecca. Now let me be honest with you straight off, the way I always am, because I'll not put a false coat on a thing. That little pump that runs this on sunshine, that's a modern piece, and I'll not pretend it came off my workbench or out of my grandfather's shed, because it didn't. So this isn't some old Amish contraption, and I'll not dress it up as one, but everything around it is our way through and through, giving the birds good water, building it out of a dollar trash can and a plate and a bottle instead of buying some heavy thing at the store, wasting nothing, and most of all, watching the birds close enough to know why they love it. That last part's the real secret, and I'll show you every bit of it. Let's build it. Before we get into it, if you like learning the old ways of doing things, do 2 small things for me. Tap that like button down there. It helps this little channel more than you'd ever guess. And subscribe so you can keep learning right alongside Rebecca and me. That's all I'll ask. Now, let's build a fountain. Here's everything you'll need and everything I'll show you in order. First, gathering your few cheap parts, then getting the solar pump ready. And there's one thing you must do to it or you'll ruin it. Then cutting the plate. Then fitting the bottle. Then the little touch that makes the whole thing work. The one the hummingbirds actually come for, and it's the most important of all. Then putting it together and setting it out. And last, why the birds love it and how to keep it good. The whole beauty of this is that it costs next to nothing, and there's not a special thing on the list. Here's all you need. A trash can or a bucket. A plain plastic one, the dollar sort, does the job perfectly. That's your reservoir. The belly that holds the water. A plate, a 10-inch plastic plate, the cheap kind you buy a stack of for next to nothing. One word of warning, and mind it, don't get melamine. The hard melamine plates cannot be cut. You'll fight it and crack it and get nowhere. A plain, soft plastic plate is what you want. A soda bottle, any color you like, empty and rinsed. And come now, you must know somebody who drinks soda, even if it isn't you. A tall one stands up nice and proud in the middle, and a solar fountain pump, the little floating kind, pump and sun panel in one. That's the one bought part, and it's a modest thing. That's the lot, a trash can, a plate, a bottle, and a little pump. You've likely 3 of the 4 already. Take your solar pump out of the box, and here's the very first thing, and it matters more than it looks. Many of these come with a thin, clear film stuck over the sun panel. And you must peel it off. Get it right off before you do anything else. Why? Because if you leave that film on, the sun will bake it hard and dry it onto the panel, and it'll foul the panel and cause you no end of trouble getting the thing to run at all. It's a little peel-off skin, easy to miss and easy to forget, and easy to ruin a brand new pump by leaving on. That panel is the engine of the whole thing. It's what turns the sunlight into the push that lifts the water. Keep it clean and clear. So peel that film first thing, before it ever sees the sun. Now, these pumps usually come with a handful of little spray heads. doodads to make the water shoot up in this pattern or that. You won't need those. We're not making a spraying fountain here. We're making a gentle one the birds can bathe in. So set the spray heads aside. The only part of that pump you'll actually use is the pump itself and its little hose. And speaking of the hose, you'll want a length of tubing to carry the water up. The pump's own bit may do, or a fat drinking straw. Don't use a skinny little straw. It shoots the water up too hard and too high, and that's not what we're after. A wider tube gives you that soft, gentle trickle. If you've a mind to, a bit of clear tubing from the pet shop, the sort for a fish tank, is just the thing. Now the plate becomes the lid, the tray that sits on top of the can that the birds will splash on, and that lets the water drain back down inside. 2 bits of cutting here. First, a hole in the middle for the bottle to come up through. Turn the plate upside down and mark a circle in the center. Near enough the middle, it needn't be perfect. Then cut it out. Start it small. You can always cut a hole bigger, but you can't make it smaller again. And keep testing it against your bottle until the bottle just pushes through. And if you go a bit too big, don't fret over it. That's perfectly fine and no harm done. Second, and this is the part folks forget, a lot of little holes all over the rest of the plate. These are how the water gets back down into the can. When the fountain runs, water spills out over that tray, and it has got to drain straight back down inside to be pumped up again. So punch plenty of holes. Make more than you think you need, because if there aren't enough, the tray fills and overflows and runs down the side and empties your can. You can always add more holes later, so err on the side of plenty. And cut 1 little notch at the back edge of the plate for the pump's wire to sit in, so the plate lies down nice and flat. Now you can cut all this with scissors and it works fine. If a hole's got a rough, sharp edge on it, you can smooth it off. Do take care with any hot tool you use. It's easy to burn a finger, so go slow and mind your hands. The soda bottle is the centerpiece. It stands up through the middle of the plate and it hides the pump, and its cap up top becomes the bird's own perch. 2 holes to make in the bottle. 1 low down near the bottom, big enough to slip the pump inside. This is round the back where it won't show, so it needn't be pretty. You feed the little pump in through there so it sits down inside the bottle. And 1 in the very top, in the cap or near it, for the hose to come up through. Make that one carefully, just big enough for the tube. Then run your tube down through the bottle and fit it onto the pump, and up it comes through the top. When the sun hits that panel, the pump draws water up the tube and lets it trickle out the top and run down over the bottle and out onto the tray, and back down through all those little holes into the can to be drawn up and sent round again. Round and round it goes, the same water, forever, on nothing but sunlight. No cord to run out across the yard, no plug, no bill at the end of the month. Just the sun coming up of a morning and setting the whole thing running. Now, here is the secret. This is the one nobody thinks of, and it is the whole difference between a fountain the hummingbirds use and a pretty thing they ignore. Get everything else perfect and skip this, and you'll wonder why they won't land. So, don't skip it. You must scratch up the top of that bottle, the cap and the shoulders, so the birds have something to grip. Here's why, and it's a thing you'd only ever know by watching them close. A hummingbird has tiny, tiny little feet and tiny little nails, and smooth, wet plastic is like ice to them. They come down to land on that shiny cap, and their feet just slide right off, and they can't get a hold, and they give up and leave. But scratch that surface all over. Little zigzag lines, dots, scuffs, crosshatch, all over the cap and the top of the bottle. And now those tiny nails have something to catch on. Now they can land and grip and stand and settle in for a good long drink and a bath. That is the entire secret of why the birds love this one and not the store-bought dish. It gives them a place to stand right at the water. They can perch on that rough cap and dip down and drink, or stand on the shoulder of the bottle and splash themselves, or sit on the tray and bathe in the shallow water, and nothing can get down inside and foul it, and they've a firm footing the whole time. So scratch it up well. That rough little cap is the throne they're all going to fight over. And if you like, you can add a proper perch too. Poke a hole below the cap, Go find a little twig off a tree and push it through so it sticks out to the side. A fine landing spot for a house finch or some other small bird to sit on while it waits its turn. It's a small touch, but it's the sort of thing that turns a fountain into a gathering place. Now it all comes together in a minute, and that's no exaggeration. Set your bottle down through the hole in the plate. Rest the plate on top of the trash can. It drops right on and covers the whole thing over, snug and contained. Trim the top of the bottle to the height you like, and fill your can with water. About halfway up is plenty. If you want it to sit good and steady in a wind, you can drop some rocks down in the can to weight it. Though truth be told, once it's full of water, it's heavy enough to stay put on its own, and you may not need them at all. And that's it. That's the whole thing. Set it out in a sunny spot where the panel gets its light, and the moment the sun hits it, it starts to run. And here's one of the best parts. It's portable. The whole unit just lifts up by the top. Pump, plate, bottle, and all. And you carry it wherever you please. Set it on the deck today, move it to the far garden tomorrow. You are not chained to one spot the way you are with a great concrete bath you can't budge. Let me tell you what you've actually built here, because it's more than it looks. You've given the birds 3 different ways to use one small fountain. A hummingbird can grip that rough cap and take a drink, or stand on the side of the bottle and bathe. A bigger bird can sit on the tray and splash in the shallow water running over it, and the whole time, nothing can get down inside. It's all sealed under that plate, so it stays clean, and no bird can get itself stuck in a deep can. Everybody drinks, everybody bathes, and the water stays where it belongs. And keeping it good is about as easy as it gets. Because the top's covered over, you'll not get it filling up with leaves and feathers and muck the way an open bath does. And if a bit of something does land on the tray, you just pick it off and flick it away, and you're done. Now I'll add a word the bird's health truly depends on, and it's plain good sense with any bird water at all. Change the water often, and give the whole thing a rinse when you do. Even moving water wants freshening every few days. It keeps it clean and sweet for the birds that are drinking it. And it stops the mosquitoes ever getting a notion to breed in it, which still water is famous for. A fountain that's kept moving and kept fresh is a healthy one, and a kindness to every bird that comes. And since the whole unit lifts up in one piece by the top, tipping it out and rinsing it is the work of a moment. Let me run it back for you, quick and plain. Gather your few cheap parts, a trash can, a plate that isn't melamine, a soda bottle, and a little solar pump. Peel the film off the sun panel first thing, or you'll ruin it, and set the spray heads aside. Cut a hole in the middle of the plate for the bottle, and plenty of little holes all over the rest so the water drains back down, and a notch at the back for the wire. Make a hole low in the bottle for the pump and one up top for the tube, and fit it all together. Then, the one that matters most, scratch the cap and the top of the bottle all over so the hummingbird's little feet can grip. Set the bottle through the plate on the can, fill it halfway, and set it in the sun. That's the whole of it. And here's what it gives you: a garden that's suddenly alive. Within minutes of setting one of these out, the hummingbirds find it, and they'll squabble over it, and the orioles will come, and the finches, and they'll drink and bathe and carry on right there where you can watch them from the window. All from a $1 trash can and a soda bottle and a bit of sun. There is hardly a finer thing you can do for a few dollars and a few minutes. Now let me tell you why nobody sells you this. You already know what I'm going to say. There's no money in a soda bottle and a $1 trash can. There's no profit in teaching you to make the thing yourself out of what's in your recycling. But a heavy concrete bird bath they can sell you for $50, and a fancy powered fountain that needs a cord run out to it, and that they can sell you too. So the shops are full of the dear heavy things, and nobody tells you that the birds would sooner have the little sunlit fountain you built for the price of a plate. It was never that the store thing works better. It's that a soda bottle can't be sold. And here's the honest math. A concrete bath runs you $40 or $50, and the birds may never take to it, and you can't so much as lift it. This costs you the little pump and a few dollars of odds and ends, most of which you already had, and it runs forever on sunshine with never a penny of electric, and you can carry it in one hand. There's no contest, and the birds themselves will tell you which they prefer. Now let me be straight with you about that title, the way I always am. Amish? I told you at the top, and I'll hold to it. The little solar pump is a modern thing, and I'll not pretend otherwise. But the heart of it, water for the birds, built from next to nothing, wasting nothing, and watching close enough to give them exactly what they want, that is as much our way as anything I know. Endless? That part's true and true again. The sun pumps the same water round and round forever. No cord, no bill, no end to it as long as the sun comes up. And easy and portable, the plain truth. It goes together in minutes, and you lift the whole thing in one hand and set it down wherever you like. The title's honest, save for the one word, and now you know exactly how much of it to believe. So here's what I'd have you do this week. It's about the most fun thing I've ever set you. Save a soda bottle out of the recycling, get a $1 trash can and a cheap plate that isn't melamine, and order one of those little solar pumps. And when it comes, remember the two things that matter above all the rest. Peel the film off the panel and scratch up that cap so the little feet can grip. Put it together. It'll take you minutes, and set it in the sun. And then sit at your window and wait and watch them come. And here's the sweetest part of it. Make this one with the little ones. There's a bit of cutting they'll need a hand with, but let them scratch the zigzags on the cap, and let them fill the can, and let them carry it out and set it in the sun. And then sit them at the window with you, and wait. And I promise you, the first time a hummingbird drops down onto a perch they scratched and takes a drink 2 feet from the glass, you'll have made a memory that outlasts the fountain. And they'll have learned something worth more than any of it, that you don't have to buy the living world's company. You can make a small, kind thing with your own hands, and it'll come to you. That's how the old knowing comes back. Not out of a book, but one soda bottle, one sunny afternoon at a time. Now I'd love to hear from you. Tell me down in the comments. Do the hummingbirds come to your garden, and what brings them in? And what have you built for the birds out of odds and ends that folks would never think to use? Share it down there with the rest of us. Those thrifty old ways slip away for good when nobody writes them down, and I read everyone. So the next time you're about to spend $50 on a heavy stone bath the birds might never touch, stop and look in your recycling bin instead. That soda bottle, that plate, that old trash can, and a little bit of sun. That's a fountain the hummingbirds will cross the whole neighborhood for and fight each other over, and it'll run forever on nothing but the light of day. The good Lord gave the birds a love of moving water and gave us the wit to make it out of near nothing. And there's a real joy in putting the two together and watching what comes. Build it, keep the water fresh, make the next one with a child, and share the little bit of life it brings right up close with the people you love.